All right, let's take a look at our Change Impact Analysis report. It's really easy to use. You can log into any Salesforce account over here at right. It can be a production account, a developer edition, sandbox, OAuth endpoint, whatever you have, and then click the launch button. The first time you do this, it will take a snapshot of that org to use for the report. But after that, it will go directly back to the Change Impact Analysis report. Now, the first screen here lets you select any metadata asset. It could be a custom application, custom tab, whatever you have, and this asset will be the starting point for the report. So this might be the asset that you plan to change, and then you'll see all of the other assets that are impacted by that change. Or this asset might be the starting point for an entity relationship diagram. So let's select a custom object and go to the next tab. So this is where you decide which metadata types you want to include in your report. So we have selected and taken a snapshot of some of the most popular types, and they're over here at right. If you have our snapshot product, you can work with all 250 metadata types, and this reporting interface is aware of every single metadata reference between asset types. There's over 1,200 of them that we support, but you'll see some of the most important ones with just this group of assets here at right. Okay, so let's go to the next tab. And on this tab, it will show you the entity relationship diagram for my selected object here in the middle, a custom object. You can see that it references a queue object, and you can see that a custom object field references this object. So what do we mean by reference? Well, if you double click on any of these boxes, you'll see the actual XML and the metadata reference. So let's look at this field. This field is from a child object that has a reference to the parent object, Adam Bar. And the other thing you can do is you can expand this tree as much as you want. So let's expand this, and what we'll see is this queue is attached to a number of other custom objects, 2 groups, and a role. Now I have a limited screen size here for my movie, so let's make this a little bit more compact so it all fits on the screen. And so now you can also keep going and see everything that references everything else. In this case, these are things that the selected asset references and the child of those things that reference them. And on the other hand, you can see the things that reference the selected asset. So it's extremely useful to see both sides of the relationship for the asset that you're working with. All right, so you can see there's some page layouts that reference this field. This field references the parent, and so on and so forth. You can open and close these until you get the type of diagram that you're really looking for. Now on the last page, you can display this report, and it will show everything that's referenced by and depends on the selected asset. And you'll see all of those metadata types here in the report. Click the export button and you can create a PDF of that. All right, let's look at some of the advanced features of the impact analysis report. So one thing you can do is you can select any asset. Let's select this one, and right click and trace a path. And what that will do is it will highlight the path back to the starting point. And so this is useful if you're interested to know how does this asset impact that asset. So another thing you can do is you can right click any one of these assets and say go here. If you go to the lead, it will create a new tree with the lead at the starting point. And as you can see, there's a bunch of flexi pages, page layouts, queues, record types, fields, Apex classes, all kinds of things which reference the lead object. So another thing you can do is you can go back to the Select Asset tab and select something else. So let's get a custom application, and let's get the standard Lightning Sales app and view those dependencies. Now, as you can see, nothing references a custom application, which makes sense. They're a starting point for a lot of other things that are going on. But the custom application references all kinds of custom objects, record types, custom tabs, and flexi pages. And as you can see right here, we have a group of 7 flexi pages. So the report can actually summarize a bunch of assets that are the same and put them into a group. And you can control the grouping right here under Asset Groups. So for example, let's create a group when there are more than one similar asset. So just like that, you can really summarize your view. We've got 3 custom objects, 7 record types, 4 tabs, and 7 flexi pages, all in this single custom application. You can also go the other direction with this and say, show all assets, don't give me any groups. And in this case, everything will be explicitly laid out. And don't forget, you can always double-click custom application and look at all of these different, record types and custom tabs and flexi pages, and whatever that application references, you can see exactly where in the metadata that is happening. All right, a couple more advanced features. So another one is you can export the asset. So in this case, you can export any one of these and get the actual asset file, save that to your hard disk or use it as in a developer project or Salesforce DX. You can export the job list, which will give you the deployment tree of these assets, which can be used in Snapshot's deployment tools. And lastly, you can export the picture, and you can use that for presentations or engineering meetings or wherever else you need to use the picture. All right, that is a quick look at the very powerful Impact Analysis Report. It's a free report available from Metazoa on the AppExchange.